In this lesson, we're going to look at what happens to some of the other shapes as we manipulate them and do things with them with scale, like we did in the last lesson. Then we're going to look at how to get very, very specific dimensions on the shapes that we include. What I've got down here on the work plane is left from the last lesson. We have a little high message, but in fact, I'm going to clear the work plane altogether. So if we select an object, we can hit backspace on our Chromebook and that will get rid of the shapes. But here we can go through and actually draw a box around. So if I click on the mouse and draw a box around all of the shapes, now all of them are selected together and I can delete them all at the same time. Okay, so our work plane is completely clear. Let's have a look at some of the other shapes that we have offered here. We have a cylinder, so let's take and let's drag that one in. We're going to zoom in. You'll notice that even though we have a new shape here, it has all of the same anchor points. We've got these ones here, and it gives us the dimensions as we go around. We could stretch this one up taller, as we've done before. We can warp it by stretching it, moving it out this way. And again, if we wanted to uniformly scale this up or down, we can hold the shift button down and it will uniformly scale this. But let's just have a look and see what happens when we stretch out a cylinder and the type of shape that it makes. Okay, let's drag in a pyramid. Let's stretch that one and see what happens here. Okay, we've got that happen. Let's see if we stretch it out this way. If we continue to scratch this, it starts to flatten it out more and more and more. Take from these boxes here. It's pretty interesting. Here, this one we've got is called a roof. We can take this box here and just stretch it all the way down, or take from the corner. We've got a rounded roof, which again has the same exact controls that we can do with those. Seeing the shapes as they are here, they begin to look very different once we mess around with them in the scale. The sphere, let's bring that in. If we drag that across, how it begins to make it like an oval instead. So these are much different shapes that we get created from the basic shapes that we start off with. This one, the text tool, is kind of interesting because you can type in the text and what you want to have happen there. The text box shows up and you can type things in, which is really helpful if you want to incorporate text any which way. But I also want you to notice that it has the same type of scale that you can do to this. Look at some more shapes here. We've got a cone, a half sphere, a polygon, a paraboloid. We have some rings and tubes, some hearts, some stars, all sorts of different shapes. And just imagine the possibilities if we warp them using the scale functions. So let's take all of these and get rid of them. But I would like you to play around with yours a little bit. But let's have a look at how to get very, very specific dimensions on things. So let's take that text tool back again. Let's drop the text in here. And I'm going to type in the same message that I did before, which is my nickname on TinkerCAD, Art McD. Okay, so when we hover over here, it gives us the dimensions. And down here, I've got 114.68. So here's how we get specific with our measurements. If I hover over that again, and what I'm going to do is click in this box. When I have that clicked in, I can type in whatever numbers I want to. So let's say 125, and I press enter, and it automatically moves it to give me those exact dimensions, 125. So let's go with that again. I'm going to drag in a pyramid. I'm going to click on this box here, click on where the numbers are, and I'm going to type in 125 and go enter. Now I have two shapes that are the exact same length. Here we've got 125 on this one. We've got 125 on this one. Let's do one more shape. Any shape you'd like to drag in. I think I'm going to go for the sphere. Let's grab the sphere. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see what we're up to here. We'll pan that up, click on this box, and I'm going to type in 125. So the task for this one here is to get three shapes in that are the exact same length, 125. You can do any three shapes that you want to. Once you have those three shapes in at 125 millimeters apiece, that will complete the lesson. So to review, what we had to look at today was seeing what happens to the wide variety of shapes that TinkerCAD offers and when we start to scale and warp their size. And then being very specific about our dimensions, that you can literally click in the box and type in whatever number you want to get very, very specific dimensions. Keep in mind that all of our measurements in TinkerCAD are in millimeter. That's it for today then. Thanks.